College football playoff starts tomorrow. Alabama will take on Oklahoma. Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas Tech all earn first-round byes, with the Hoosiers and Buckeyes both holding the best chance to reach the title game at over 40%, according to our analytics. Which teams do we think will face off in the national championship game tomorrow? Round one starts, as I pointed out. So here we go. Not a chance to see anyone yet in the CFP. Who you got in the CFP championship game? You want to go first?
I'm going with the top two teams in the nation. I think it's going to be Indiana versus Ohio State. I truly believe that Ohio State is the best team in the nation, even though Indiana beat them in the Big Ten championship game. The offensive line didn't play well that day. They didn't protect their quarterback, obviously, and it cost them. I think in a rematch, Ohio State gets the better of Indiana. That's number one. I think that I look at Georgia. I think Georgia's incredibly formidable. They're number 3. They are a team to beat. Here's my problem, RC. I think that Georgia, because they're 3, would have to face Ohio State. Okay, and I think Ohio State, if Indiana was to face Georgia, I think Georgia would beat Indiana. But I don't think they'll beat Ohio State. So because of that, I think Ohio State gets through Georgia if it gets to that point, and I think they meet Indiana for the national championship, and I think in a rematch, Ohio State gets the better of Indiana. It'll be a nail-biter. It won't be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination, but I would go Ohio State over Indiana.
So I didn't want to go because Shay's right next to me. I would have liked it if she was sitting over there.
You scared of her?
Yeah, I'm a little scared. She's just real IU, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to Ohio State, Oregon. And I know what everybody's going to say, right? They're going to say that. They're going to say Indiana and Fernando Mendoza went there and stumped them, and they did. I love Dan Lanning. I think Moore has an opportunity. You talk about quarterbacks with opportunities to play themselves up in the draft. I think he's already a first-round draft pick, but he has an opportunity to show even more and move himself into the top 5. Indiana is so well coached. And they're
I agree with Dante Moore. I think he can play himself top 10 pick if he comes out. I think he's the best pure passer of the football. I unfortunately agree with Stephen A. I think Indiana, Ohio State. I do think it's interesting. Ohio State fans got super mad at me because I was like, yeah, Ohio State ain't tested. They're the least tested #1 team in the history of college football type stuff. Listen, in that Big Ten championship game, they go into halftime up and they don't score again. Now, 4th down stop, missed field goal, I understand that, but it'll be interesting to see how that team responds and rebounds after that second half egg. But I am impressed with Julian Sand. I think they have the best player in college football in Jeremiah Smith. The defense is a top 2, top 3 defense in college football, and that game comes down to a kick. So no question that those teams are very much so on the even playing field. How does Indiana handle success? I think is a huge question mark. Do I think they have the right leader in Kurt Signetti to do it? Yes. But these are 18 to 22-year-old young men. They've never experienced this before. They've never experienced this level of success, this level of expectation, this level of we've accomplished something. How did those young men handle it? But I do think if they're capable of doing that, those are the 2 best teams. The Oregon game, the only thing I get concerned about with Oregon, surprisingly, because I love Dan Lanning as well, I'm a massive fan, is they just didn't look like they belonged at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of those games that was actually shocking.
Yeah.
How much more physical Indiana.
The score wasn't as close as it was.
I agree with all that. I just as we've gone down the stretch and the way that they've rebounded from that, the way that they played, and the explosiveness that they could produce offensively, that was something that as the season went on, I got more confidence in them, and also too, being in the stadiums for all of Notre Dame's games has made me think that there's going to be a team from week 1 that plays, because Ohio State and Notre Dame played in week 1 last year, that one of those teams gets hot, partly because of winning that first game and finds its way to the championship.
You know what's interesting with the SEC, to your question, Shay, is like each SEC team has a relatively glaring flaw. Alabama's offense is
not the case with the Big Ten.
Right. Oklahoma's defense is ridiculous. A&M's defense can't tackle right now, but Oklahoma's offense is struggling. A&M's got a really good offense, but their defense can't tackle right now. Georgia has had just some hang-on for dear life comebacks. Like, there's some flaws in the SEC that's not in the Big Ten.
And in fairness, in the interest of full disclosure, I interviewed Ryan Day last week on my show, and he was like, our offensive line You know, he didn't point out anybody or whatever. He said, but we didn't have our best game. We've been talking about that. You know what I'm saying? That, in other words, that is not a mistake.
In his
you can expect.
experience.
That is not a mistake you can expect to see again. And I think when you look at Ohio State and how talented they are, you know, their program, what they're the reigning defending national champions. You walk into that Big Ten and you know what? You missed a field goal.
Yeah.
I'm saying you could have easily tied the game. Could have easily won.
A young running back
to win a game.
Bo
Yeah, look at,
Jackson. I love the fact
and
that
they got completely thrown off guard because I think they expected to be the more physical team against Indiana. And that is not what happened, particularly that offensive line. They didn't protect Sayin, and I think that they make
I will say this. Ryan Day was out, and that staff was out coached.
There you go.
Against Indiana.
I was gonna
The
say, if
level
you were.
of anticipation.
He felt they were too.
The level of
But I just thought that
anticipation
was
you
cool,
saw
you know?
defensively from Indiana with an understanding of splits, of formations, of tips, of tendencies. Signetti is coaching at a different level than most of these coaches in Division
By
I
the way,
Power
can
4 football.
I ask this quick question real quick? I'm sorry. We talked about Kalen DeBoer in Michigan and all of that other stuff. Did we bring up Signetti? What's the job? I can't imagine he would even think
He ain't
about
going
it.
He's
anywhere.
got more
Don't
money.
even bring it up.
Ask.
He got more money.
I'm just asking.
All right, listen.
Is everybody going to want him?
I think it's Indiana and Georgia in the
It'd
CFP
be hard to
championship
say
game.
no to
I'm
Alabama.
going to go CFP and Georgia. I will bring up the SEC team. I have a question, though. We're going to be in Miami for the championship game. It's Monday. First Take will be on the road. If Indiana's in the championship game, I'm supposed to be back here in New York for work on Tuesday.
No.
Are we we'll do the show from Miami on Tuesday?
No. We do the show from
Miami.
Here's what I would say. Here's what I would say.
backyard.
Here's what I would say.
Okay. Oh, got it.
I don't
Backyard.
know where the show is going to be, but considering this your alma mater and this national championship game, if you decided to go celebrate with the Hoosiers the next day, that's totally understandable.
And when UConn win the men and women's national titles in basketball this year,
That's not going to happen both. One of you may win, but not both.
it's happened both before.
No, it's not going to happen this time. Not this year.
Why aren't you?
Not this
Oh,
year.
they're just rolling the brakes. Okay, so we got an NFC West battle tonight as the Seahawks host the Rams with massive playoff implications. Who do we have winning this one? We will tell you.
The two group of 5 teams, and the odds makers and the analytics don't like them at all. We all know the situation here. Oregon an 88% chance to win, Ole Miss an 84% chance to win. Of all the 40 bowl games, these 2 games are projected by analytics on paper to be the 2 most lopsided games. So I asked earlier about Alabama and Miami. Are they playing to justify their places? I'm going to ask a very different but actually the same question about Tulane and James Madison. Are they playing for the future of the inclusion of the group of 5?
You're telling me JMU wins 12 out of 100 games versus Oregon. That's pretty wild, and I find that hard to believe. So, no, and that's mainly for antitrust purposes. So you're going to have G5 inclusion here unless we get to this alternate universe that some of us have advocated for, where there is a separate G5 playoff. But that's just talk right now. That's pure fantasy. There's really very little reality to that. I'm going to say the same thing. It's going to sound really counterintuitive because, like, I've been the first to call out how ridiculous this is. Nothing about JMU or Tulane's performance this Saturday should change anyone's mind. You either already think they should have been in or you already think they should have been out. SMU's not a G5 team, but SMU went to the playoff last year and it was debated. I thought they should have been in. They got smoked by Penn State. That didn't change my mind that they should have been in because, like we just said with Miami, Notre Dame, Alabama, you're judged based on your resume and your body of work, not theoretically what you could do.
I want to bring Hawk in on this conversation, and I'll take you a little